I raised a complex number to the third power, and I got -9 minus 46. How can I solve it by hand? And also, how can I enter it directly into the scientific calculator? If you want to see how it's done in the video, you'll see that it's pretty simple. Look, first, let's remember that the quantity a plus b raised to the third power, that is, a binomial raised to the third power. We're going to expand it as the cube of the first term, plus 3 times the square of the first term times the second, plus 3 times the first term times the square of the second, and plus the cube of the second term. In the case that we have a negative sign, then the signs have to alternate, starting with positive. So it goes positive, negative, positive, and negative. In this case, we are going to treat this complex number as if it were a binomial, and we are going to raise it to the third power. So come on, let's do it little by little. So we start by first starting with the cubic term. In this case, I would have to write 3 raised to the third power, right? Then it would have to be -3 times a squared times b. So I would have 3 times a squared times b, which in this case is 2. And then it would have to be 3 times a times b squared. So I add 3 times a, which is 3, and times b squared. So in this case, I'm going to put the 2, and we're going to raise it to the power of 2. Then it has to be minus b cubed in this case. So I'm going to put 2i raised to the third power done. That's what we have to do, right? Now let's simplify this a little bit. So what would I get then? 3 cubed is equal to 3 times 3, that's 27. Then we have minus. 3 times 3 squared would be the same as 3 times 27. Sorry, 3 times 9 is 27, and 27 times 2 gives me 54. Right? So here we have 54. What is it? Well, we're doing fine, right? Now here, pay close attention to how I'm going to do the following. Over here, we have a 3 times 3. So I'm going to write plus 9, which is that 3 times 3. And look, here we have 2 squared. So first I'm going to write 2 squared, which is the same as 2 times 2. That is, it's equal to 4, and this y squared. For now, I'm going to leave it just like that, as y squared. Then we have minus y, and over here we have 2. I to the power of 3. Look, here I'm also going to separate it. I'll write 2 to the power of 3, and now I'll write y to the power of 3. Like we squared times e squared times, e is still I to the power of 3, right? We're doing well so far, right? So let's continue. Now you need to remember that y is nothing more than the square root of -1, right? Isn't that so? So, if we square both sides, then I would have that y squared is equal to -1, right? Because I'm, in quotes, canceling the square with the root. So, I already know that y squared is equal to -1. And look, over here we have y squared, and over here we also have y squared. So wherever I find a y squared, I'm going to put -1. So let's continue. I have 27 minus 54y plus. Here we have 9 times minus. 9 times 4, which is 36. And we're going to multiply this by y squared. But we agreed that this was -1, so I continue. Then it's -2 cubed, which equals 8. And I'm going to multiply this by y squared. We agreed that it was -1. And finally, well, this is multiplied by y. Let's continue. So I end up with -54. And then here we have 36 times -1, which gives me -36. And here we have -8 times -1, which gives me +8. And well, we add the y and we're doing well, right? All right, let's continue. We're almost done. Let's look for like terms. In this case, we have 27 minus 36, which equals -9. And here we have -54 and +8. And this would leave me with -46, right? 46, and that's it. The solution will be -9 minus 46. And that's the complex number that results from raising this other complex number to the third power. -9 minus 46. But look, I had told you that I had already done this operation directly with this scientific calculator. Let's see. I'm not sure if you can see it clearly, but if you look closely, you'll notice that it also shows -9 minus 46. And so now I'm going to show you how I do it directly with the calculator. So let me share this emulator's screen with you, which is exactly the emulator for this same model, which is the FX991 CW model. The first thing we have to do is press here where it says Home and then scroll down to where it says Complex here. You see, we press OK, and now we're simply going to enter that complex number. So I open parentheses and put 3 minus 2. And to be able to put it there, we're going to press here where it says Shift, and then on the 9. See that here is the I above the 9. That's why I have an I there. And then we close the parenthesis. We press this little button, and now we raise it to the third power. Then we hit execute, and it's telling me that the answer, in fact, is -9 minus 46. And as you can see, we're arriving at the same solution. If you liked this video, please give it a like, and also share it with someone you think might find it useful. See you next time. Take care, and do your best. Bye.